Welcome everybody. For any of you that are new, welcome to Yoga on the River. I'm Terry. If you haven't liked my Facebook or Instagram page, it's Authentic Living Yoga. That's where you'll see when I'm teaching classes and where and things that are going on. So I invite you to do that. These classes are free. I am taping myself because I'm doing advanced yoga training. So the only one on the camera is me because I submit those for my training. So you won't be on the camera. However, if you want to donate, there's a jar over here. All the money goes 100% to Friends of Portsmouth. So they're doing some good things, and that's appreciated if you want to, but it's not necessary. We're going to start standing today. So Candy, you just sat down. I'm going to get you right back up.
It was a 50-50 chance.
I knew. You never know with me. I actually oriented my mat a little different today because I keep turning around to show you poses. I thought this might help. So we're going to work on a practice today where we're going to get the body moving and stretch that fascia tissue and muscles and work on gratitude. So I want you to just find your Tadasana, your mountain pose, belly button pulled in, tail tucked, nice and tall in the spine. Just roll the shoulders up and drop them away from the ear and bring our palms to rest facing forward. Keeping a little softness in the knees, extension in the spine. I invite you maybe to close your eyes. Concentrate on something that you're grateful for, that you can carry throughout your practice, someone or something that you can come back to during your practice to remind yourself to be grateful. I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful for this beautiful river and the surroundings that we get to practice yoga outdoors. Begin to calm your mind. Bring some stillness to the body. Begin to notice the breath. Not changing it, just noticing what we came into class with. What does your breath feel like today? Begin to grow that breath, breathing deep, inhale through the nose. Finding that constriction in the back of the throat, that ocean sound, exhale through the nose, that Ayuji breath as we begin to build some heat with our breath. You notice that if you have some congestion or sinus issues and it's not comfortable for you to breathe out through the nose and exhale through the mouth, it'll be a little more cooling. Continue to build that breath, bigger inhales. Long, fluid exhales. Keep building the breath to your capacity, and remember, we're going to bring this breath with us throughout class. Knowing that you can come out of a posture if your breath becomes choppy, or if a posture is just not working for you. Every posture is not for every person on every day. So be grateful for what your body does for you and give it some ease in the postures that don't work. Continue to build that breath. Read this. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. Gratitude. Flutter the eyes open, root down through all corners of the feet, and lift our arms up to this beautiful sky, stretching up out of the waist, maybe taking our gaze slightly up. We get long in the body, reversing the palms and floating the arms down as we exhale. Do this again. Inhale, we rise up. Maybe come up on the toes, stretching the body. And exhale, we float the arms back down. One last time here. Root down to rise up. Come up on the toes if that's working for you today. Find your balance, pulling the belly button to your spine. As we stretch the whole side of the body here. And exhale, the heels and the arms float down. We're going to get into stretching the body and the fascia system, which is a connective tissue that connects the entire body from head to heel. And it really puts your muscles into muscle groups and pockets of muscle groups. And as we age or we become sedentary, that fascia becomes tight. It needs hydration. And one of the ways we give it hydration is by moving the body. So the fascia moves energy, moves blood, and it helps move fluid through the body. So we want to keep that nice and loose as we work through our class here today. So we're going to inhale one more time, take a big breath, and exhale audibly. Blow it all out. Find your tuck, tighten, and tall. Roll the shoulders up and back here just a couple times. And then forward. Now I want to do a little experiment with this fascia, just to kind of give you an idea of how connected our bodies really are. We're going to kind of do a little test of range of motion and what doing some massage and some manipulation of that fascia can do for your range of motion. So start with your tuck, tighten, and tall. Breathe in, and on the exhale, let's take our gaze over our left shoulder. Just keeping our shoulders soft and just noticing how far we can see over our left shoulder here. How far have we moved? Just notice that range of motion on this side. Let's inhale, bring the head back to center. Exhale, let's bring our gaze over our right shoulder this time. Noticing how far our head moves this time on this side. How far can we see as we breathe? Noticing which side's tighter, which had less range of motion. Bring our head back to center. Now, whichever side was tighter for you, you moved less, it felt tighter, your head moved less, you had less range of motion. I want you to take the thumb on that side of your body. For me, it was my right side's tighter. Take the thumb on your tighter side in front of you. We're going to take it and massage it, really kind of loosening up that fascia, connective tissue, which is connected all the way through your arm, all the way up to your ear. And be kind of aggressive with it. Really get in there. It should be a little uncomfortable as you kind of really kind of feel like you're, really making some space in that fascia. I did this experiment in a class once with a teacher, and I was surprised at how much difference this makes. So you might be too when you see it. Get it really aggressive in there and just really kind of feel like you're loosening that up. And on that same tight side, the same side as this thumb, let's come up and start massaging this ear now. Again, be a little aggressive. Come all the way around the ear. Get behind the ear on the head too. Really getting in there, maybe even using that thumb, because we're kind of double duty there. We're loosening up in the thumb and around the ear. Below, right below on the neck there too, right below the ear. So just really feel like you're getting in there really good. It might feel a little uncomfortable. That's okay, just breathe through that. You shouldn't feel pain though. Now let's release. Let's do that experiment again now. See if you've noticed any difference in the range of motion on your tight side. Inhale, exhale, take your gaze over your tight side now. See if you have got a little more range of motion now. Can I see a little bit further? I can. Note that, come back. And we don't want to leave you lopsided, so let's take our gaze over the opposite side as well. And release the head back to center. Shake those hands out. How many of you noticed a difference? Yeah, isn't that surprising? First time I did that in a teacher training class, I was shocked. I wasn't expecting there to be that much difference. So that just demonstrates how our whole body is connected, and how if you can loosen up that fascia, keep your body moving, then you can keep your body from being stiff and having pain. So, good job everybody. Let's inhale the arms up. Exhale. Bring the arms out in front of you. Let's interlace the fingers. Take a breath and get our tuck, tighten, and tall. Exhale, press the knuckles away from you, opening up the upper back as we tuck the chin. Feeling that scapula kind of open and separate as we make space in the upper back here. Carry the breath with you. Keeping a micro bend at least in those elbows and knees. We don't want to lock out those joints. And exhale, release the hands slowly. Bring the hands behind you, interlace the hands. Keep that micro bend in those knees, get tall, pull that belly button in. Exhale, press the knuckles down towards the mat here. As we open up the front of the body now. Make sure that belly button's pulled in and the tail's tucked so we're not arching the low back. Now you can stay here. This is a really good chest, heart opener here. Or if you want to, you can just begin to lift the arms towards the sky as you bend the torso forward. Keeping the softness in those knees, remember, don't lock out the knees. Just go to that place of resistance plus a nudge, not pushing past your edge. Inhale, exhale. Let's bring the torso back up if you've extended. Release the hands back down and unwind the hands here. Shake them out a little bit. We're going to move into a chair pose. Let's inhale and come down into our chair pose, keeping our knees stacked over our ankles to protect our joints. Sitting back, just like you're sitting in a chair, the arms up, elbows by ears. Inhale, let's bring the hands to heart center. Exhale, let's take the right elbow to the outside of the left, taking a nice twist here, stacking the elbows on top of each other. Sit a little deeper in that chair, and you can stay here or you can open the arms up and lift the top arm to the sky. Nice wide wingspan here. Get a little bit of a shoulder opener with the twist. Working on strength, working on stretch, gentle twist of the body. Not holding the breath. If your arms are out, bring them back to heart center. Return to neutral in the front. Inhale, exhale, come back to your chair. Sinking those hips. Take a big inhale, exhale, let's go to the other side. Stacking the elbows, belly button pulls in. Again, you can stay here or you can open up the arms. Look down and make sure your knees are not past your ankles. If they are, sit back further, pull them away. Taking deep breaths here. We open up the body, massaging the spine and those internal organs. And let's release the arms back down, come back to our hands to heart center, come all the way back up here. Breathe. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, we fold down, bring our hands to our mat, fingers nice and wide. Step our feet back and find our downward dog. Use your hands to push the mat away so your hips are up and back. Your gaze is behind you here. This is our first down dog, so if you want, go ahead and pedal it out. Whatever movement feels organic to you. Maybe come up on the toes, and then exhale, pressing the heels a little closer to the mat. The heels don't need to meet the mat. That's not the point here. We're just moving in that direction. Big inhale, exhale, lean your body forward, coming into a high plank. Pull the belly button up to the spine. Breathe. Grip the mat with your fingers to protect the wrists. If your breath is choppy, then lower your knees, or if it's hurting your back. That's the stronger practice to listen to your body. One more big breath. Exhale, drop the knees, untuck the toes, and press our hips back, finding our child's pose, bringing our chest to rest on our thighs. Our arms are forward, our head's moving in the direction of the mat. Reconnect with the breath. Reconnect with your gratitude. As you inhale deeply, exhale deeply. Let's take an inhale together. On the exhale, let's begin to walk our hands over to the right here. Opening up the left side of the body, sinking the left hip. Go to that place of resistance plus a tiny nudge. That's your edge in every posture. Notice the space we're making on the left side of the body. If you feel like you need a little more, then you can take the left hand and put it on top of the right. But always remember, deeper is not necessarily better in postures. You need to find your edge where you're working, but you're not overworking. Inhale, exhale, walk our hands slowly back to center. Take a big breath in. Exhale, let's begin to walk and explore, walking our hands to the left side. Be sure to sink the right hip. Find your edge on this side and stay with the breath. Again, you have an option to put the right hand over the left. If you feel like you need a little more space there, a little more depth. Inhale and slowly walk the hands back to center. Coming up on the knees, we're going to extend the legs long behind us and find our way down to our belly. Move this out of the way. See me here. All the way down, legs extended long behind you, hip bones sinking into the mat here. We're going to take our left hand and put our fingers underneath our shoulder. Our right hand, we're going to extend long out so that our thumb is parallel with our collarbone. Extend that arm out nice and long. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, we're going to begin to slowly roll over to where on our side and stack our hips over top of each other and our feet. Go slow. It's a big shoulder opener, so take your time. Only go as far as you don't feel pain. No pain. If you feel pain, you back off. If you need a deeper stretch, you bend that top knee and set that foot behind you. But if you've tried that and it's not working, then put the leg back if that's too intense. Find your breath here. Maybe you can rest your head. Let's inhale together. You've got the top leg bent, straighten it out and find your way back onto your belly here. Bring the right hand underneath the shoulder, left hand extends long in line with your shoulder. Breathe in. Big breath. Exhale, begin to slowly roll over onto your left side. Again, option to bend the knee and bring the foot behind you. I'm going to come out so I can see you. Find your breath. Find where the posture is working for you. And always remember, if it's not working for you, you can come out and just work on your breath, which is the most important part of the practice anyways, is the pranayama, the breath practice. Let's take one more big breath in. Exhale, let's slowly bring ourselves back to our belly. Extending our arms long beside our body, palms up. Forehead's on the mat. Take a breath in, big breath. Exhale, keeping the feet together. Lift the feet and the chest and the head. The crown of the head is extending forward though. Pressing the fingers back. Finding this reverse boat pose here. Finding the breath. Try not to arch that neck. We don't want to compress the neck. Your gaze should be slightly down. One more big breath together. And exhale, release the forehead, chest, and feet down to the mat. Take a moment here to take a breath. Maybe roll the top of your forehead on the mat. When you're ready, let's put our hands underneath our shoulders and press ourselves up into a tabletop position. Tuck those toes, pull that belly button in. Grip the mat with your fingers. You want to have a little bit of an arch in the fingers to protect those, in the palm to protect those wrists. Press up into our downward facing dog. Belly button's pulled in. Gaze is behind us. Let our head and shoulders drop through our arms. When you're ready, walk, step, or jump your feet up to the front of the mat. Bring your chest to your thighs, bending those knees until your chest touches your thighs. Release the arms. You can grab opposite elbows if you want, but your chest should be sitting on your thighs. That may mean you need to bend those knees a lot. We let our head hang. Then from here, if you feel like you have a little more room in those hamstrings, you can begin to start to straighten the legs up. Releasing the low back. Let's release the neck. Maybe shake the head, the neck, yes. Shake it, no. Release the hands to fingertips to the mat. Root down through the feet and rise all the way up with the arms to the sky. A tiny little back bend with our gaze up to the beautiful sky. Our heart wide open in gratitude. Exhale, release the arms down, finding your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Reconnect with that breath. Reconnect with your posture here. Tuck, tighten, and tall. Tailbone tucking toward belly button, pulling in, nice tall in the spine here. From here, we're going to take the left leg. We're going to step it back to your stance. It's about 4.5 feet long here between your legs. Back leg about a 45-degree angle, toes slightly pointing in. Kneel, bend the front knee to the knee is stacked over the ankle here. Windmill the arms out, find our warrior two. There's an imaginary wall behind you. You want both shoulder blades on that wall. Now for a lot of people, particularly I have a little bit of scoliosis and a little SI dysfunction, and we have tightness in the hips. It's okay to take that front foot and scoot it over 1 or 2 times to give you more space for your pelvis here. Now if you notice that your knee is not over your ankle, press that shin forward till the knee is stacked over the ankle. It'll deepen the pose for you. Breathe. Find your breath, your gaze over your front fingers. See if you can feel the energy line between the front finger and the back finger as you extend. Pressing through the back foot to engage those quads and those glutes here. Press into the outer edge of that back foot through that heel. Breathe in. Exhale, back, left palm comes to thigh, right arm, flip the palm over, find our reverse warrior here. Again, make sure you find that long line from your hip all the way to the fingertips, as if you're taking your pinky and stretching it to the sky. Engaging all the 4 corners of the feet. Breathe. Exhale, let's bring the right forearm to the right thigh. I want you to take your left arm and up around your ear. Your fingers together, pinky down, and pull through that pinky finger as you engage the back foot through the back ankle there. This is where you're going to notice that fascia. If you're pressing through the back foot and you're extending through that pinky, you should notice a line of energy all the way from the heel to the pinky. Kind of tune into that and see what you feel there. See if you can feel that energy. It might feel like heat or tingling. Now try this experiment. Take your hand up 90 degrees. See if we cut off the energy that runs along that fascia line now. You probably don't feel it in your fingers as much now. I feel it stopping around my armpit. Extend it again forward, pull through that pinky. Reconnecting that fascia line, that energy line. And exhale, let's release the arm, come back to our warrior two. Adjust your stance as necessary, wherever you feel comfortable in that stance. Remember, as you adjust the legs, you're adjusting the width. You're not adjusting the length, just the width of your pelvis here. Exhale, let's take the left arm forward, finding warrior one. You may have to step in, adjust your stance as necessary. Knee over ankle here. Pulling through those pinkies, feeling that line of energy. Belly button pulls in and up. Exhale, let's lower the hands to heart center. Step the back foot in a little bit. We're going to find our warrior three. We're going to find our balance. Find something to focus on. Keep a bend in the front knee. And begin to bring your torso forward and your back leg up. Finding our balance here in our warrior three. It's okay if you're shaking. That's stabilizing those joints. It's okay to set the foot back down and come back in if you want. And release that back foot back down. Release the hands. Step the back foot up to the front. Take an inhale. Exhale. Ready to do all that on the other side? I'm going to turn this way so you can see. So we're going to step the right foot forward. Back foot finding our about 4.5 feet. Nice wide stance. 45-degree angle in the back toes. Knees stacked over the ankle here. You want to take that foot out a little bit. A little wider to get some room for that pelvis. Windmill the arms and find our warrior two on this side. I also notice for me, if I have that leg too close in, this knee tends to fall in. If you get a little wider, it allows you to externally rotate that thigh. Breathe, get your gaze over your front finger. Remembering our imaginary wall, remembering our breath. Let's reverse our warrior, stretching up through that pinky, finding that line of energy. Gaze can be up if it doesn't bother your neck. Maybe we sink the hips just a tad bit lower if it works for you. One more breath. Take a big exhale. Let's bring the forearm to the thigh. Back arm comes up around the ear, pulling through those pinky fingers together, pinky down. Rooting through the outside of the back foot, finding that line of energy along the side of the body. Engaging the feet. Help engage the quads and the glutes. One more breath. Exhale, let's come back to our warrior two. Sinking our hips maybe just a little lower this time. Make sure that front knee's not folding in. Exhale, let's find our warrior one. Stepping the back foot in a little bit. Elbows by ears. You ready? Walk that back foot in. Find your place to focus. Find yourself warrior three on this side. Knowing that one side's going to have better balance than the other. That's normal. Bring your breath with you. Coming in and out as many times as you need. When you're ready, let's release the arms. Release the legs. Take a big inhale in. Now, if you're not up the top of your mat, let's turn around here so you have more mat. And let's come out. Reach our hands down and find our downward dog here. Pressing the heels towards the mat, dropping the head. Let's drop our knees, find our tabletop. Knees lined up under hips, elbows and lined up under your shoulders. Micro grip to those fingertips to protect those wrists. Belly button pulled in and up. Nice straight spine here. Check in with those wrists. If with a micro grip you still feel something coming out of them, then come up onto your fist here. You always want to protect those joints, those little joints there. Let's try to make space between the top of your head and your tailbone, as if you can feel the vertebrae separating. Just imagine you making physical space here. Let's work on a little bit of oppositional balance. Take the right arm up, extend the left leg back. Hip creases facing forward. This is where you might want a little padding under your knee here. Your gaze is down. You're extending through the right arm, you're extending through the heel. And if you got good balance here, you might want to try extending the right arm to the right, left arm to the leg to the left, opening it wide. Bringing them back to the center line and releasing the hand, releasing the knee back down. Come up for just a second before we go to the other side and just shake those wrists out a little bit. Yeah. If you notice anything from your knees, you might want to put your towel under your knees as we go to the other side. Breathe in. If your wrists are starting to bother you, please come up onto your fists. I'm going to do that. Pull that belly button in. Extend the right leg, pressing through the heel, left leg extends forward. Hip bones both facing down. Our gaze is on our mat. Again, you can stay here or you can open it up to the side. Still pulling through that heel though. It's a bit more challenge with your balance here. And come back to the center line. Another breath. And release the hand, release the knee back to our tabletop position here. Great job, everybody. Take a breath. Come down on our forearms, elbows under shoulders, fingers nice and wide. Take a breath. Extend the right leg back up on the toes, pressing through the heel. Left leg back up on the toes, pressing through the heel, finding our forearm plank. Belly button pulling up to spine. Crown pulling away. Option to put the knees down always. Keep breathing. Whatever position you're in, you're breathing. Your knees are up. Let's bring them down. Bring them as wide as the mat. Bringing the big toes together. Stretching our hips back, finding our child's pose. This time, leaning our forehead down. Let's take our arms behind us, palms up. That'll help us open up that upper back. Palms on the ground, but facing up. There we go. Maybe rolling that forehead a little bit if that feels good to you. Leave a little tension between those eyes. Just a little bit bigger hip opener here with a wide knees, so that if it bothers you, you can certainly bring your knees back together and support your back with your torso with your thighs. Reconnect with that vision of gratitude that you started with at the beginning of practice. Whether it was a person, a feeling, something that you were grateful for. Take another big breath and feel the body expand. Fully exhale. Bringing your hands underneath your shoulders. Pressing up to our tabletop position. Take a breath here. Bring your hands slightly in front of you. And take your right foot and put it in between your hands here with the bent knee over the ankle here. Palms down. Extend the left leg back up on the toes, lifting the kneecap. Pulling it up. Finding a lunge here. Get your balance. Then you can bring your hands to your thighs. You can bring them overhead to crescent lunge here. As we inhale and sink the hips on the exhale. Always have the option of putting that back knee down. If this is not working and your breaths become choppy. Stretching through those pinkies. Those lines of movement here. Engaging the heel and the back to activate this leg. Inhale, exhale, sink just a tiny bit lower. And then let's release the hands to the mat, untuck the back toe and drop the knee. Extending, sliding off the kneecap and the back leg, toes untucked. So we're going to come into we're in a low lunge here. We're shifting our weight forward to get a little deeper into this lunge. Both hip creases are facing forward. Feeling the opening in its psoas in the front of that hip. You ready? Let's tuck those back toes. Lift that back knee up and step the left foot back to meet the right. Finding our forward fold, letting our head hang. Chest moving to thighs. Inhale, exhale, let's root down to rise all the way up. Big stretch and release the breath, release the arms. Ready to do that on the other side? Good. Let me turn around here. I think I want to get you down there. Forgot to figure out how to transition. Inhale. Exhale, let's find our forward fold. Walk our feet back to our downward dog and drop our knees. We're going to bring the left foot this time in between the hands, stacking the knee. Find your position and tuck the back toes. Lifting up that knee and pressing back through that heel to engage those quads and that thighs. Get your balance. And then bringing the hands either up to the thighs or overhead for crescent lunge. Come on. Breathe. Find your stretch. Find your strength. Back leg is active. You're pressing through that heel to engage that back leg. Bring that big breath in and out. Both hip bones facing forward. Maybe take your gaze up to the sky if you don't fall over like me. Exhale, bring the hands down. Drop the knee, untuck the toes, sliding off that back kneecap. Checking our alignment to make sure our knee is still over our ankle, and then sinking our hips in our low lunge here. Make sure that your mind and your breath haven't wandered off. You keep breathing, finding your place in the posture. When you're ready, let's tuck those back toes, come off of that knee, and then step the left foot back to the right, finding our plank, and then pressing up into our downward dog. Great. Pedal it out. Inhale, the right foot comes up and back, leading with the heel. Exhale, we bend the knee and bring the knee in between the front hands here. Untuck the back toes, extend the left leg long. Your front leg here can be in whatever position works for you. I'm gonna get sideways here. And then I want you to sink your hips. Sink that right hip all the way down on the mat. For those of you that are new to my class, this is the way I teach pigeon, and I know it's different, but I do it on purpose because it allows your body weight to give you a more effective stretch, and it takes all that torque and pressure off that kneecap. So let's press our palms down into the mat. Inhale and get nice and tall in the spine. Exhale, you can begin to lean the torso forward. Going slowly. Maybe coming to rest on your forearms or crossed arms. But make sure wherever you're going in the posture, you're not all the way to your edge. We stay in these bigger muscle group postures a little longer, so I don't want you to go all the way to your edge. You need to leave some room for the posture to deepen as we stay in it. As you breathe, find your breath. I find it helps sometimes to close your eyes so you really can tune into what your body's feeling and where you're feeling it. And then find some stillness and ease. Knowing you always can come out and take child's pose or a seated position and build your breath. When you're ready, tuck those back toes. Use your hands to press your torso back up. Extend the left leg back to three-legged dog, and then drop it and find our down dog. Breathe in. Exhale, left leg comes up. We bring the knee in between the legs, slide off the back, sink our hip. Inhale and get tall. And then exhale with an open mind, a beginner's mind. Brand new posture on this side. Begin to explore where our torso takes us here. Might be in a different spot than the other spot. Wherever it takes you, go there with gratitude. Gratitude that our bodies are allowing us to do this practice. And then find some ease in the posture. Your mind starts to wander off, just nudge it back to the breath without judgment. It's perfectly normal. Happens to all of us. That's part of the practice. The meditation part of the practice, training our brain to focus on our breath. ready? Let's take the hands underneath the shoulders. Slowly bring the torso back up. Take the right leg around, bring it around in front of you. Bending the knees, soles of the feet on the mat. Hands behind thighs, belly button pulled in. And slowly lower your torso to that mat. Letting the spine and shoulders sink into the mat here. Bending the knees, bringing the hands to the knees and giving ourselves a hug of gratitude. Tucking the chin slightly so that we're not arching the neck. On the inhales, we soften. On the exhales, we pull the knees just a little closer to the chest. You'll have that big breath. Now with your knees still bent, scoot yourself over to the left side of your mat. And then roll your body all the way over onto the right with your knees still bent. So you still got your knees bent, you're on your right side. Standing both arms in front of you, parallel with your shoulder palms touching. You can rest your head. Take an inhale. Let's lift the top arm up to the sky. Take the bottom arm and set it on top of the knees to pin them down. And as we exhale, we're going to allow that top arm to float behind us. And opening up that shoulder, following it with our gaze. Now if you notice any pinching or tugging coming from that shoulder, bring your arm closer to your body until that goes away. It's not important that your shoulder is on the mat. It is important that your knees are pinned to protect that low back. And then try to soften your body everywhere else that you can soften here. Notice body starts to release. With your hands still pinned to the top knee, you can extend the bottom leg long. And that will give you a deeper stretch here if your body's asking for a deeper stretch. If it's not asking, don't go there. Your legs extended, bring your knee back underneath. Slowly inhale the arm back up to the sky. Exhale, bring it over to the palms are reaching out and touching again. Put your hands on your knees and one knee at a time, come all the way back to your back with your knees still bent. Give yourself a little hug here. Remind yourself we're going to go to the other side with an open mind. Scoot yourself over to the right side of the mat. Inhale, exhale, roll on to your left side, knees pinned. Palms touching, extending out to our shoulders. Breathe in, right arm comes to the sky, left arm comes to the knees, and exhale, we float the arm down, behind, up and behind us, and take the gaze with you. Always checking in with that shoulder. If you feel any tugging or pinching out of that shoulder, just take your arm closer to your body until that releases. If it doesn't release at all and you have some type of impingement in your shoulder, then put your hand on your hip. We don't want any tugging or pulling there. You want to stretch, but you don't want to pain. Nice twist getting into the low back. Both shoulder opener at the same time. Twists are really good for our bodies, good for our internal organs, good for our digestion. Make sure, ask yourself, do I still have that big breath? Just breathe in, reaching the arm back up to the sky. On the exhale, floating the arm all the way back over. One knee at a time, roll onto your back, knees still bent. Sinking our shoulders. Bringing our soles of our feet off the ground. Take one hand behind each knee. Inhale, exhale, pulling the knees towards the armpits, lifting the soles of the feet, finding our happy baby here. You can can keep your hands behind your knees, pulling those knees in, or you can reach your hands up to the insides of your arch here and use that pressure from your hands to pull the knees closer to the armpits. Chin slightly tucked so that we don't have an arch in the neck. And then feel free to rock your baby if you want to give your low back a massage. That might feel really good today. When you're ready, just dropping the soles of the feet back to the mat, extending the legs long. Let's take a big inhale and stretch the legs and the arms overhead. Nice big stretch. Inhale and squeeze every muscle in your body really tight. Fist, everything nice and tight. Exhale, release it as you lower the arms down your side. You can put your hands to rest on your belly or your palms up on your side, your toes splayed out as we release into Shavasana. Making whatever adjustments you need to make so you can find some stillness. I invite you to close your eyes. No longer trying to build that breath up. Let that yogic breath go. Just allow your natural breath to take over. Finding some stillness in the pose. Sitting with our gratitude. Shavasana is considered by most yogis to be the most important posture in yoga. It takes all the work we just did and allows our body to assimilate it, allows our mind to rest, allows our nervous system to be calm. Your mind begins to wander, just treat your thoughts as clouds and just watch them float on by, not engaging them, just letting them go, allowing yourself this time on your mat to be right here, right now. Your eyes still closed, just start to bring a little bit of awareness back to your surroundings. Just noticing the sounds, the scents, the temperature. Just noticing. Begin to start to deepen the breath. Maybe a little wiggles of the toes of the fingers as we start to make some gentle movements back to the body. Maybe a little roll of the head from side to side. Remembering our gratitude. A big inhale and bring some stretch to the body as we awaken the body. Just stretch the body, nice gentle stretch. Exhale, pulling the knees in and giving ourselves one more hug of gratitude. Slowly and taking your time, find your way over to one side with your knees still bent, your eyes still closed, your mind still present. Resting your head in the crook of your arm. Remember, when it comes to life, the critical thing is whether you take things for granted or take them with gratitude. When you're ready, use your hands to help push you up to a seated position, a comfortable seat of your choice. I invite you to keep your eyes closed for another moment if that's working for you. As we raise our arms up to the sky, stretching through that pinky finger, feeling those lines of energy from our hips to our fingertips here. Bringing the palms together and rubbing the palms, generating some warmth. Lowering the hands all the way to the heart. Whoa, nice center. Wow. That was a little scary.
Yeah.
I think we're all awake now. Thank you for... I was going to go into something, but I'm...
That's why that's never happened before. That was like blocked off.
Oh.
I didn't even know that.
I was supposed to say, that has never happened.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Well, let's all be grateful that no one got hit by a car. They didn't run over my phone. Thank you and namaste. That was quite an awakening, and you're awake now. I still hope you're still peaceful and grateful, though. We should park in the future. I think we'll park a car in front of there.
I started to park my
I didn't even. That's never happened before.
well, no.
Let me turn this camera off here.
Whoever's first.